The windows were really dark. I don't have a tint measure, but that's another reason for the stop.
I can keep recording you.
Turn it off. I'm taking jail.
For recording you, I'm sitting in my car holding my phone.
I hope so. I know what the law is.
I know the law. I'm an attorney, so I would hope I know the law.
And an Uber driver?
The one officer said, "Oh, there's weed right there." And this lady just pops up and said she was my lawyer. And everything changed.
Use your privilege, baby. Use your privilege.
When she came, she saved the day. She came and saved the day.
On January 15th, 2023, in Pittsburgh, the police conducted a routine traffic stop. They pulled over T. Ron West after he made a left turn without using his turn signal. When West inquired about the reason for the stop, the officers informed him about the turn signal violation.
I turned my turn signal and made the left. He turned his lights on and told me the reason why he stopped me was because I didn't turn my turn signal on.
Despite West's claim that he did use his turn signal, the police weren't willing to listen to his side of the story. However, there's more to this incident. Shortly after pulling him over, the initial officer called for backup, and the police proceeded to search West's car. When recalling the incident, West stated, "They surrounded the car, shining their flashlights everywhere, and one officer exclaimed, 'Ah, there's weed right here.'"
The one officer said, "Oh, there's weed right there."
According to West, the police claimed to have found a small piece of weed near his emergency brake. He admitted to having smoked weed in the past, but stated that he had stopped, as he now had a job and a family to take care of. At the time of the incident, West was attending school to obtain his CDL license. However, despite his explanations, the police didn't pay any attention and immediately handcuffed him. They proceeded to search his entire car without giving heed to his side of the story.
And this lady just pops up and said she was my lawyer. And everything changed.
As West remained handcuffed with his car being searched, a local civil rights activist reached out to her attorney friend, Kate Lovelace. Upon receiving the call, Kate rushed to the scene and began representing West as his lawyer. With Kate's presence, the police eventually decided to uncuff West, who had been restrained for about 45 minutes by then, and issued him a warning instead.
I think it's important that people understand how much that narrative changed and how much the dynamic changed and how different they treated him because some white lady in pajamas showed up without any identification and said, "I'm here to represent him."
Kate truly came to the rescue because at the time of the incident, West was on parole due to previous gun and drug charges. Despite his background, West emphasized that he is a law-abiding citizen who had dedicated the past 2 years to serving the city of Pittsburgh. He expressed his desire for everyone to feel safe and protected without having to worry about being profiled based on their race or the appearance of their car. Sharing her perspective, Lovelace mentioned that sometimes you have to leverage your privilege, and she was grateful to have used it at the right moment.
When she came, she saved the day. She came and saved the day.
It happened on February 26, 2017, when Jesse Bright, an Uber driver, got pulled over by the Wilmington police while driving a passenger to a destination a few miles away. As soon as the cops stopped him, Bright started filming the encounter, which didn't sit well with Sergeant Kenneth Becker. Becker asked Bright to stop recording, but Bright insisted that it was his right to do so.
I can keep recording you.
Turn it off. I'm taking jail.
For recording you, I'm sitting in my car holding my phone.
However, the sergeant showed no interest in listening to reason and continued to demand that Bright stop filming. Becker wasted no time in asserting his authority, making it clear that he had the power to arrest Bright merely for recording him.
What are you arresting me for? I'm sitting here in my car. I'm just recording in case anything happens.
Unbeknownst to the sergeant, Jesse Bright was not just an Uber driver. He was also a defense attorney who drove for Uber part-time. In an attempt to prevent Bright from recording, Becker even claimed that there was a new law prohibiting recording of police officers on duty. However, little did Becker know that Bright was well-versed in the law and knew more about it than the sergeant did.
I know my rights.
I hope so. I know what the law is.
I know the law. I'm an attorney, so I would hope I know the law.
And an Uber driver?
As Bright continued to stand his ground, Sergeant Becker attempted to intimidate him by suggesting that he better hope they don't discover anything incriminating in his car. On top of that, Becker also threatened to call in K-9 units if Bright didn't cooperate.
Well, here's your license. We're going to wait for K9 because I don't know if he might have dumped something under the seat and you don't want us to look. So we're just going to have K9 come out and smell. And if they do...
The sergeant, in a roundabout way, was implying that cooperating meant to stop recording. However, none of the threats deterred Bright from continuing to film the incident. According to the cop, Bright had taken the passenger to a drug house that was under surveillance. However, Bright countered by stating that all he knew was he was taking the passenger to their requested destination, and he never knows his passengers personally.
Okay. I mean, if he threw something under the seat, it still has nothing to do with me. Like,
okay, but it's in your car. I'm not saying it has anything to do with you, sir.
While it's understandable that pulling someone over for drug suspicion might be a legitimate reason, the discomfort with being filmed remains a puzzling aspect. After facing threats from the sergeant, Bright revealed that he was an attorney and well-versed in the law. Becker seemed skeptical, remarking, "An attorney and an Uber driver?" To which Bright explained that he drove for Uber to help pay off his law school loans.
I showed him my way bill. I really am just driving Uber for some extra money. I don't know where these people are going to and from.
After 20 minutes of detention, the officer finally believed Bright when he presented his attorney card, and he allowed him to go free.
Can you understand my frustration? I'm just at work.
I should.
I
absolutely do.
All
What's
right.
your registration? Just hold on a minute, okay?
Thanks, man.
Shortly after the incident, Bright decided to upload the video on social media, and it quickly went viral. The recording garnered significant attention from the public and even reached the authorities. Wilmington Police Chief Ralph Evangelist acknowledged the situation and revealed that an internal investigation had been launched in response. In light of the incident, Chief Evangelist emphasized that it is completely legal for citizens to take photographs and videos of people in plain sight, including the police. He even encouraged citizens to do so when they feel it's necessary, as public videos can help protect both the police and the public and provide crucial information during interactions. Bright also shared advice with the public, stating that if they ever feel they're being stopped by the police for no valid reason, they can start filming. He expressed that the video demonstrated how the police might resort to lying to manipulate people into complying with their demands. Knowing and asserting your rights can make a significant difference in such situations. After finishing her lecture at Florida A&M University College of Law, Aramis Ayala was on her way home when the Orlando police pulled her over. The police officer requested her identification, and she promptly complied. Recognizing that she was an attorney, the officer inquired, "What agency are you with?" Ayala replied,
I'm the state attorney.
Same thing. All right.
The officer's response made it evident that he was dealing with someone who had a superior understanding of the law. Inquiring about the reason for the stop, Ayala learned that the officer had pulled her over because a check of her license plate had yielded no results.
I've never seen it before. A Florida tag, it's never come back to anything.
Ayala educated them about the law, explaining that license plates on state-issued vehicles are kept confidential, and therefore, it was natural for the check to return empty. Following her explanation, the state attorney inquired why they ran the tag in the first place. The officer responded that they routinely run tags to check if a vehicle has been reported stolen. However, in this exchange, the officer unintentionally admitted to making an incorrect assumption. In an attempt to mask the error, he added, "Also, the windows are really dark. I don't have a tint measure, but that's another reason for the stop."
The windows were really dark. I don't have a tint measure, but that's another reason for the stop.
Ayala responded to the officer's explanation with a smile and politely asked for their business cards. After the officer handed his card to Ayala, the short and somewhat awkward conversation came to an end. While Ayala didn't share her personal thoughts on the incident, the public reacted strongly to the state attorney being pulled over. Some labeled it as racial profiling, while others noted that the officers treated Ayala differently than they would an ordinary citizen. In response to the public's concerns, the Orlando Police Department offered an explanation. As you can see in the video, the window tint was dark, and officers would not have been able to tell who or how many people were in the vehicle, said a representative from the department. Ayala also spoke up about the traffic stop. "To be clear, I violated no laws. The license plate, though confidential, was and remains properly registered. The tint was in no way a violation of Florida's law," she stated. "While the traffic stop may seem consistent with Florida law, my aim is to foster a constructive and respectful relationship between law enforcement and the community." Ayala extended an invitation to the Orlando Police Department's chief to discuss ways of improving interactions between police officers and citizens.